Hi, I'm Eben, born and bred Namibian, from a place called Korigas, Damaraland, Northwest. Um, Founder and owner of Khoisan Tours and Safaris. We do safari tours, and we also do day activities, which is sandboarding and township tours to Mondesa. So sandboarding is similar to same as snowboarding. We use the same snowboarding equipment, which is the snow boots and the boards. The boarding style is the same. A lot softer here on the sand. Comparing it to snow, if it's icy, falling on the sand, it's more forgiving than on the snow. Okay, that's now for the adventurous people that is looking for the adventurous stuff. But we don't only just focus on that, we are also focusing on the cultural part. That takes now us to the local township, which is called Mondesa. Township tour is actually a cultural tour that introduces the local, let's say, local tribes or the community to the foreign visitors. It's a cultural tour that gives them the opportunity to interact with the locals. For example, if the foreign visitors comes to Swakopmund, mostly they are only told about adventurous stuff, which is the sandboardings, the quiet bikings, the skydivings, the sandwich harbor tours, the paraglidings and things like that. But we can say the township tour is a hidden gem. Going on the township tour, they will feel the real Africa. Yes, that sets the township tour aside. So township tour is actually one of the things, most important thing that needs to be promoted. Yes, more, so that people can get that opportunity to meet the people. Basically, people are booking from their place of accommodation, and we pick them up and we take them to the township. We're starting on the from the place of accommodation. As we are driving out to the township, we are giving them the history of what the city, Swakopmund, and then about the township, if we are entering the township. So we touch basing the city, the township, and the informal settlement, which is the RC. What includes is we don't just drive through and just taking photos and just drive through and out. But we stop, we let the people out. We also taking some walks. We stop at the open market, whereby unemployed women, mostly women, are doing the selling, and mostly it's traditional foods, just to contribute to the household. Their husbands, boyfriends might also be having jobs, but they also just, it's an example of self-employment, just to contribute to the household. And then we visit the Herero lady, the Ovambo lady, and then the Damara lady. At the Ovambo lady's house, it's where we do the traditional food tasting, which is the Mopani worms, the wild spinach, the beans, and ombahunkus, the beans, and things like that. All sort of different traditional foods, which are also on our website. And after the traditional meal, before we finish off the tour, we got a vocal group that performs for them. And then we are going back to their place of accommodation to drop them off. Also, if we go on the tour, we give them opportunity to take photographs. But places like where we are visiting, people we are visiting, we are having the conversation first, and before we go, we give them the chance to take the photos. Yes. If we are driving on the street, if they see a nice painting on the wall, we visit a kindergarten or a daycare center, they can take but if it's a direct picture of an adult on the street, then we always advise them to ask permission first, just for that respect. If the person says no, we respect that, we leave. Yes. So we also what we do is they go back, they make copies of the photos, they send back to us, and then we hand them out to the rightful owners on the next 2 hours after receiving the photos. So if someone maybe comes, approach us and asks for money, we always encourage people not to hand out money on the streets, because we will be promoting begging. So we always encourage people to make things out of their hands, at least like the craft center and so on, and we bring the people there. If they see something they are interested in and they like, then they can buy. That's how it creates employment. Yes, instead of handing out money and things on the street. For example, if they have books, pencils and things like that, school stationaries, we are visiting kindergartens or to a school, and there they can give. So the teachers know if maybe one of the kids are coming without a pen or a notebook or something like that, or a textbook, then they can give to the kids. Yes. Actually, each and every town in Namibia got the city center and the township. Basically, that happens during the apartheid regime. It was the segregation, yes, between the whites and the blacks, not to live together, to communicate, to interact, and so on. After 5 o'clock, they were not allowed to come into the city. If they knock off the people that was doing the domestic work, which the women who were doing the washing and the ironing, and the men as gardeners. So 5 o'clock they knock off, they come back into the township. They were not allowed to go back into the city. If they found going into the city, they were fined. And as I've said, it was the segregation between the whites and the blacks. However, after independence, people can live wherever they can afford. There's no more segregation. But the townships still exist. Yes. It is safe. If you come during the day and you walk around there by yourself, it's safe. But if you come during the night, 10, 11 o'clock in the night, and you are walking there around by yourself, it can't be safe anymore. Same thing in the city itself. In town, if a tourist by himself walks around and having cameras and things like that hanging around him, then he can be, get marked. So the same thing can happen. When the township was started, people started coming to the township. It was a bit of like, look at him bringing the white people to the township and so on. People have actually obviously had a different look at it. But with time, people have started to like what we are doing, that we are sewing around the people. People have started with setting up craft shops. They have started doing traditional things, and also who comes to us and say, hey, can you also bring the people to our house, because we are doing this something traditional. Let's say we have some girls that can dance for them, some traditional dances. We got a vocal group that can perform for them. Well, hey, we have a community craft shop whereby they can visit and things like that, starting up daycare centers, kindergartens, and yes. So coming back to the part of the safetyness, now that people have realized that coming and visiting to visits to the local township, it also creates employment for the locals. They are protecting the tourism industry, and even if the local or a foreign visitor comes to the township by him or herself, the people will also always want to know where the person is going, because he or she is alone or they are just by themselves, wants to know what they are up to, whom they are going to see. And if they say they just want to walk around, they will be always accompanied by someone, making a friend, you see, and that person will be the one showing them around, and they will leave. So there's always going to be someone going around with them, even if they don't book and go on the tour. So there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and also other countries that people can visit. But Namibia is one of the very best countries to visit. As I've said, the country itself is very beautiful, a lot to see, it offers a lot. But Sossusvlei, Etosa, Fish River Canyon, yes, Colemanskop, Damara Land, the southern part. So yes, also those ones that wants to join us on our guided tours. We take them on a safari, which is guided tours, whereby we give all the necessary and needed information, and we answer all the questions that the clients might or will be having about Namibia. Transport is included. We always have water. We don't want the people to dehydrate. So here it's where you drink a lot of water because of the temperature. And accommodation is included. 3 meals per day, full board. And the only thing which is excluded is your insurance, travel insurance, your visas. If you want to go to a bar and maybe have whiskey, beer, or something like that, that is excluded. I, Eben Gurriap from Question Tours and Safaris, is inviting all of you to visit Namibia. Put Namibia, when traveling starts, put Namibia at your bucket list, and Namibia awaits you. So welcome to Namibia. So you are listening to this clip, you are hearing it, tick off Namibia on your bucket list and come look for Question Tours and Safaris, and come explore, and we will be guiding you.